Hello everyone, welcome to Mountain Living DIY, do it yourself. My wife and I moved to Colorado a little over a year ago, and we live up on top of a mountain in Manitou Springs. And we came from the East Coast. We grew up in the Midwest, so living in the mountains is definitely a new experience for us. We love it. We love it out here, and as you can see, it's a beautiful day today. And I'm going to be bringing you along for a project that I'm going to be working on here in a few minutes. Since moving into the house, we have discovered that there are lots of things to be done, from construction inside the house and renovating inside the house to wood cutting and splitting and keeping chainsaws going and sharpening chainsaw blades, to working on the mechanics for ATVs and just all kinds of, the list is endless. So this Mountain Living DIY is a way for me to show you kind of what the things that we're working on, show you maybe how to do some things, also to learn from you how to do some things. A lot of this is a new experience for me, and I'm very frankly learning how to do things by going onto YouTube and discovering how to do it and then doing it. So I thought that I would bring you along for the journey, because many of you will know how to do things better than I'll know how to do them. So you can do me a favor, and as you watch these videos, if there's something that I'm missing or not understanding or something that I could be doing better, I hope that you'll let me know in the comments below. I definitely want this to be a learning experience for myself. Help me out also if you like what you see here. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, because that helps out the analytics behind all these videos that we're putting out. This is sort of the view that we have from our yard. We are, like I said, we're 8,780 feet from sea level at the top of Manitou Mountain in Manitou Springs. That is Pike National Forest out there. And just to give you an idea of what kind of where we live, that's an outbuilding that includes a garage and an office living space up top. I'll show you more of that later. This is part of our yard, and you can see that it's sloped up pretty good, and we have a retaining wall that someone built before we moved here. It's basically a bunch of rocks stacked up to keep the yard from eroding into our driveway. This is the house that we live in, and the view, which I'll show you more of later, I'm sure, out over Colorado Springs and Manitou Springs. So I'm sitting out here on the side of my yard, and today I'm going to be calculating the slope of my yard in two different places. You might ask, well, why are you calculating the slope? In all honesty, I'm just curious. I've got to fix two retaining walls, one of them holding up the area that I'm sitting right now, and I'll show you that later, and another one holding up the other end of my driveway. And I thought, if I'm going to be fixing retaining walls, I might as well know what I'm up against. And so I'm calculating the slope of my yard here. When we get heavy rainfalls, a lot of times the erosion pushes a lot of debris into my driveway, and it's a real problem, a real hassle. And so I've got to fix some retaining walls, and so that's why I'm doing it. So there might be a better way to do this, and if there is, I hope you'll let me know in the comments below. For the time being, though, this is the way we're going to do it, and there's a little bit of math involved. You're going to need a straight board cut at 50 inches long. I found a scrap piece of wood that I did that with, and you're going to need a level, and you're going to need a tape measure. Probably going to need a calculator too. At least I know I will, because at some point I'm going to have to do a little bit of math. Anyway, so let's calculate the slope on the side of this hill. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this 50-inch board, and you're going to find a place in the yard that is pretty average when it comes to the slope. In other words, don't choose a section that's really steep, and don't choose a section that might be flattened out a little bit. Choose something that's pretty average for the yard, which I did here. And all you do is you place one end of the board on the high end of the land. You put the level on top like this, and you raise the board until it's level. Then once you have a level mark, whoa, lost my level here. Let's try that again. Then you're going to put the tape measure on this side of the board, and you're going to look for level. And that's pretty level right there, and I've got 20 inches. Here's where the math comes into play. You're going to take 20 inches and divide it by 50 inches, and then multiply that by 100 to get your percent of slope. I'm going to pause the video and do a little math. Excuse me. Okay, I did the math, and those of you who are math geniuses are probably thinking, why in the world would you need a calculator for this? Because now that I did it, it seems pretty simple. 20 divided by 50 is 0.4. So 0.4 times 100 is 40. So the slope of my yard is 40%. I have a 40% slope right here in the yard. Pretty cool, huh? I've got one more place I want to go check out because I think it's a little steeper than this. And that also affects my second retaining wall that I had to do some work on. So let's go down there and we'll do this again. Okay, I'm on my second slope that I want to measure the slope. And I've got my 50-inch board, got my level, I've got my tape measure, and I want to measure the slope of the hill that I'm sitting on right now, and I'll show you why in just a minute. This one was a little bit more complicated to get set up because it's a lot steeper. So I'm gonna try to show you this. I don't know if you'll be able to see everything given how steep it is right here for me, but I'm gonna put one end of my 50-inch board on the high end of the slope. I'm going to put the level on top of that. Then I'm going to take out my tape measure. I do not advise that you stick the end of your tape measure in your mouth like I just did, but this is my tape measure. I've been doing that for years. And I'm going to measure until I get level here. And I've got 28, let's see here, 27, 28, I got 28 inches. So again, you take 28, you divide that by 50, you multiply that by 100, and you get the percent of the slope that you're on. So again, I'm gonna pause the camera, get my calculator out, do a little calculating, and I'll let you know what it is. Okay, I did a little calculating, and this slope is 56%. It's a 56% grade. So my top, here, let me, so you can see if I try to hold this level that the grade that I'm sitting on right now is 56%. And you can see my retaining wall out there. That's the one I've got to work on later. You can also see right here in front of me a little bit of what I was talking about earlier, and that is the erosion that I get because of the rainfall here. So I've got to do some work here. This slope that I'm on is 56% slope. You can see that my retaining wall right there holds up my car, and so that's got to be built correctly. I've got to do some work on that. And the slope up there is what I measured earlier, and that slope is 40%. And you can see that the retaining wall that I have existing is the stones and rocks that previous owners built to keep the yard from sliding into my driveway. So that is how you calculate slope on a hill. You take a 50-inch board and you level it off on the high side of the slope, You measure the bottom end from the ground to wherever the board is. You take that number, which is inches, you divide that by 50, which is the length of the board. You take whatever you get, you multiply by 100, and what you end up with is a percentage of slope. That's it for today. My next video, I will begin fixing my retaining walls, and I hope that you'll be able to join me for that. If you enjoyed this video, again, I hope that you'll hit the subscribe button and the like button. And until next time, take care of yourself and each other.